I've got to do one more live stream test. One I've been wanting to do for a while. Well, actually the one that really made me even want to start live streaming. Not many people have made videos about the rFactor mod or the Kart 1998 season mod for rFactor 2. But it's probably one of the most incredible things you can drive. I'm really hoping that iRacing will bring a kart chassis to the lineup or whatever you want to call it at some point. But let me slide my Oculus on. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. I strongly encourage everyone to try this that comes across this. So we've all seen Camel GT at Lime Rock. But now we are going to do one of the craziest cars ever. Or not necessarily the craziest car, but the craziest era of open wheel cars. So this is a Penske PC27. I forgot how this works. Oh, okay. So this is actually the same chassis I'm sitting in. So I don't know how much more one-to-one, especially using VR, you can really get compared to doing what I'm about to do right here. So let's do this. I think it's something around 880 or 900 horsepower. It's a turbocharged car. The Nissan is a handful around Lime Rock, but this is an entirely different animal. One of the most important things in rFactor is you have got to, whatever car you're going to be jumping into, say it's this car, you have to check the garage and the wheel lock range in the garage. This car only has 3 options, or okay, apparently it has more. But basically I run it at 450 degrees. You've got to have whatever wheel software you're using, it's got to be set to that. So it's got to match this. So 450 degrees, that has to match, but also you have to go in the settings, controls, and you've got to set it there as well. It's all 3 have got to be the same. This right here is the strength basically. So with an OSW, I turn it down to about 88% for rFactor. It's an entirely different physics model, which is, it's actually incredible if you've never driven rFactor or rFactor 2. So this one is just the personal preference. You've got to find your own, sweet spot with it. So I think I'm usually right about there with this car. So that's the big mystery with setting up the steering in rFactor. Your wheel software, the wheel range in the garage for each car, and settings and controls, they all have to match. So alright, so let's drive a PC27 while sitting in a PC27. At Lime Rock. force feedback on rFactor when you have it set right is, I mean, there's really nothing that even matches it. Nothing. I actually just ducked because the front wing just went flying over my head. This obviously is not a setup made for Lime Rock. Okay, now you're about to see what makes rFactor pretty special. I spun the car out, and I'm gonna have massive flat spots to deal with now, unless I come in and change tires. You'll probably see and hear the wheel vibrating once I get up to speed again here.
Was a 55.40.
These were sequential shift cars, so I'm driving it as it would have been driven in the real world. Fairly poorly, I might add. The sensation of speed is just unfreaking believable.
The lap was a 43.74.
You can also stall on rFactor, and then you can't get going unless you have a car that has a starter. Oh! Wow. That ought to look interesting on the stream. That hurt. Literally hurt. Let's see if there's something I could do to actually make this more drivable. Make it more drivable by increasing the rev limit and the boost. cold tires is also another, not issue, but thing that they actually simulate really well in rFactor 2. I'm actually lifting the shift like I do in the Nissan, and I don't have to. I keep forgetting that. This was a no-lift shift car, and I'm still lifting.
That was a 43.96.
Terrified now. I'm pulling my hands back. Yeah, this car's absolutely not set up for a lime rock, but I'm not going to take away the difficulty of actually controlling the damn thing. It's a handful. If you have rFactor already and you haven't grabbed this mod, you need to. And if you don't have rFactor, I'd suggest grabbing it from Steam.
56.00.
Even just to experience this, it's totally worth it. Whether you're sitting in an IndyCar cockpit or not, it's totally worth it. I'd be in love with this car if I just had a regular rig or a desk.
Was a 43.29.
It's unbelievable the speed you're achieving on this track.
43.27.
Oh! Yeah, and if you have an OSW, be careful. rFactor is an entirely different animal. I'm gonna take that down a little, actually. Direct drive wheel will hurt you. just push this thing so hard and it just sticks. Except for turn 1. That last corner, I mean, the more you bury the throttle, the better it sticks. It's feels very unnatural. Your brain's telling you to slow down, but the car is saying, "Give me more." Case in point, should have absolutely lost control there. The car just...
The lap was a 44.84.
Cars just suck to the ground so much. And depending on your wheel system, you can actually really feel that. When like the vacuum effect starts to take effect, the wheel gets very heavy.
Was a 43.93.
So there's definitely something to be said for their graphics, but their driving experience is just absolutely hands down the best, in my opinion. Every car I've driven on here that's an official release, per se, is just really... it's so realistic feeling. I'm not sure how that translates through all different wheels, but... I can't imagine like a Fanatec Club Sport or even a Thrustmaster or Logitech, you wouldn't feel like the same experience that you'd get through an OSW. But rFactor 2, it's a lot of fun. If you've never tried it, definitely give it a shot. And yeah, grab the kart mod. It's free. It's in the Steam Workshop. You just download it. It actually self-installs, I believe. So that's it. I've got to exit out of this because rFactor doesn't let you actually minimize the window, even when you suggest or set it as a windowed mode. You can't escape to a window and do anything on your desktop, so that's that.